Hello kids, this is going to be a really nice yoga, stretchy-ish kind of workout. We're just going to flow through some things. It's not going to be a painful, like kick your butt kind of a workout. Lots of deep breathing, stretching. It's going to feel good. So let's get started. Modify wherever you need to. Make it your workout. I'm just a lay person, non-expert that loves to learn. I've been doing this for a while. I think I can show some pretty cool stuff, and always be safe and listen to your body, okay? I don't do any of this to undermine any healthcare professional that you might be working with. So let's get started. So we are going to start the front of our yoga mat if you have one. We're just going to start in mountain pose, just getting into our breath. So as you're standing here, and throughout the entire workout, just full exhales. So you get full inhales. So you get full exhales again. Draw your shoulder blades back. Align everything. Shoulders on top of your hips, on top of your knees, on top of your ankles. So everything is stacked. And if everything is stacked and in proper alignment, you pretty much get to relax your body, because your bones are holding everything up if everything is stacked properly. A lot of yoga poses depend on that. Now while you're standing here taking these deep breaths, start to focus on drawing your kneecaps up towards your hips. Just start engaging your thighs, your legs. Focus on keeping your pelvic bone parallel to the floor. So you're starting to engage your core a little bit. Your shoulders back, round the shoulders forward, then back with your breath. Do that again. So you're getting a nice stretch all around. Now go the other way for a couple of breaths. Now clasp your hands, still drawing your kneecaps up and your abs scooped, your hips parallel to the floor. Clasp your hands in front and try to pull them apart. Not a ton of tension, just starting to warm things up. Generally, you're going to get a better range of motion if you stretch when the muscles are warm. So we're building tension in our body gradually, slowly, in a relaxed kind of way with our breath. And through flexing all the different muscle bellies in our body by drawing our kneecaps up, clasping our hands and trying to pull them apart. Now clasp the other direction. And round the back, filling the lungs with oxygen, which fills the blood with oxygen. And now pull the shoulder blades back. Now reach overhead, still clasping. Elevate your shoulders as much as you can, still drawing the kneecaps up. Hands still clasped, still breathing. Try to pull your hands apart. Now you're waking up your lats by trying to pull your hands apart in this position. Okay, now successfully pull them apart like you're scraping an imaginary wall behind you. On the exhale, inhale, hands up. Exhale, down. Inhale the hands up to the side now. Exhale, back down. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Generate some heat through your body, through some tension. Throughout this workout, there's going to be a series of tension and release. Very relaxing. Also, you get better range of motion that way. So now that our body is waking up, focus the camera a little down now. Just another inhale up. Now hinge forward. Ankles below Your feet don't have to be touching, but ankles below your hips. Come down all the way. Inhale up to flat back and exhale. Do that a few more times at your own pace, your own breath. Okay, one more time, one more inhale up. Now stay there. Bring your arms back out. Bring them in front of you if you can. Still breathing. Bring your arms up as high as you can. The natural tendency is to have them dip, but bring them up. This is warming up your back big time right now. And then back down to your sides, back down. Inhale up. And now exhale. Step or jump back into your mat. Now I want you to hold this plank for about a half a minute or so, protracting your shoulders all the way, drawing your kneecaps towards your hips, scooping your pelvic so that your lower back is protected, and shooting your heels out towards the floor. If you struggle with any one of those checkpoints, then come down to your knees so that you can do all of those things while holding plank, and breathe. Continue to warm everything up. Now from here, I just want you to go into downward facing dog. So without moving anything, not moving your limbs anyway, feet and hands are still in the same place. Point your butt into the air. Straight arms, straight legs. You can bend your knees if you need to. It's more important you have straight arms here. Back into plank. Now with your own breath, go back and forth between downward dog and plank a few times. At your own pace. So I like the inhale going into plank, exhale going into downward facing dog. One more back into downward facing dog. Now I want you to bend your knees like so. You can move your hands up a little closer if you want. Keep your arms straight. And now start to straighten your knees again, keeping your chest as close to your thighs as you can, pointing your sit bones upward, and see if that helps you get deeper into downward facing dog. Back into plank. Now I want you to bend your knees in plank and go back into downward dog with bent knees. Straightening out the arms. Bring your chest as close to your thighs as you can with straight arms, with bent knees. Now straighten your knees out again slowly on the exhale. See if you can get deeper into downward facing dog. You can hear me breathing. I hope I can hear you breathing, if I could hear you breathing through this thing. Back into plank. Now I want you to go to child's pose with your knees out towards the sides of the mat, straight arm, and sink into this. Come up on all fours. We're gonna go into puppy dog. And if you can, if you can't, you can stay here or go back into child's pose. This is sort of an extended shoulder stretch, which feels really good. So for this one, you're gonna keep your upper thighs perpendicular to the floor, and you're just gonna move your hands forward like so, chest down, and stretch out the shoulders. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Modify this one however you need to so that it's comfortable and you're getting a nice stretch. My knees are flexed 90 degrees. My hips are flexed 90 degrees. My forehead is resting on the mat. Okay, inch your way back up to tabletop. Oh, that's such a nice one. Okay, from here, we're gonna go back into downward facing dog. With bent knees, same thing. See if you can work yourself deeper into downward facing dog on the exhale. Come up on the inhale. Now exhale, straightening the knees. A few breaths here. Back into plank on your next exhale. And just stay here in plank for a couple breaths. Building more tension, more heat in the body to get bigger range of motion. Now come back into child's pose. Now come up into one more downward facing dog. Knees bent, same thing. See if you can exhale into a deeper, your deepest range of motion in this downward facing dog. Your sit bones pointed upwards. So come up on the inhale. Stay here for a breath or two with your knees bent. And when you feel ready on your exhale, straighten the knees and get as deep as you can into your best ever downward dog. And come back out into plank. Now go on your knees. Oh, wow. The shoulders, the whole body should feel really warm right now. For me, especially my shoulders. So now we're going to do some more stuff in the lower half of the body. Okay, from here, put your hands on your hips. I just want you to thrust forward as much as you can with a little bit of a back bend if you feel safe. And if you can, from here, take one hand down to your heels, then the other. This is a hard one for me. The goal is to actually try to keep your hips here while getting a back bend. My hips fall back a little, so this is a weakness of mine. We've all got our weaknesses. This has always been one of mine. And breathe. Getting better though. Okay, come up. Prayer hands for a moment. Exhale big. On a big inhale, sweep your hands back like so. Opening up the chest, and then inhale back here. Another exhale, same thing. And inhale. And go right back into it. See if you can go a little bit further into this one. Big inhales, so you big exhales. Remember to drive your hips forward as best as you can. Protect your lower back. If it's uncomfortable, just come out of it. Couple more breaths. Very good. Come up. Just sort of shake here for a moment. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, now, while you're still on your knees, kick your left leg out, like so. First, with your right arm, reach to the right. Now, sweep overhead. Try to come the other direction. Stretching all along here at the side here. You can rest your other hand on your leg, either above or below your knee, not right on the knee. Every exhale, try to go a little deeper like I am. You can also do this standing, but I like both. Today we're doing it on a knee. Next inhale, come up. Or exhale, I'm sorry. Next exhale. God, that's so good. All right, now let's do the other side. So bring that leg in. Now this time I'm kicking the right leg out, keeping the left knee down. Extend the left arm. Go out to the left at first. See if you can form a straight line between your leg and your upper body. It's good oblique and core strength. Now on your next exhale, sweep the arm overhead. And come back to the side stretch on the other side now. I start way up here, but let's see how much further I can go with each exhale. A little bit further. Try to look and gaze up towards your left bicep if you can. I gotta remember that myself. And try to keep your arm back. See, I have this natural tendency to go forward. You want to try to keep it back. I'm a little weaker on this side with that. My shoulder flexibility is a bit better on my other side. People generally have a better side and a weaker side. So if you find one side is better than the other, that is perfectly normal. One more big exhale. Now on the next exhale, come up. Oh, that's so good. We're going to do that again. So now go back to the other. Bring that leg in. Now kick the left leg out. Reach to the right. Just see if you can form a straight line between your leg and your upper body. Exhale over. You know the drill. Yeah, I'm much better on this side. Wow. Whew, what a difference. Second time through, you should be able to go maybe a little deeper on those exhales. Next exhale, come up. Oh, yeah, ooh, that's good. Bring them both in before we go to the next side. Give me another big inhale, opening up the chest. Exhale. One more big inhale. Oh. Okay, now kick that other leg out, the right leg. And then reach to the left, try to form a straight line. Statically contracting the oblique. Next exhale, come back over. I'm on my weak side. Let's see if it's a little less weak now. Second time through. The biggest thing for me is this arm wants to come forward on this side. So I really have to fight to keep it back. A little deeper, that's good. One more exhale. Next exhale, come up. Oh, yeah, that is so good. Knees together. This time, inhale, arms in front of you like so. Then scrape the imaginary wall behind you on the exhale. Same thing, 2 more times. Oh, that's good. Whew. All right, shake that out. Now we're gonna go into some half splits. It's gonna be great. So just like this, 90-degree flexion, 90-degree flexion here. Everything's 90 degrees. Let me see if I can go completely sideways for you. Here we go. Okay, so the front leg, which is my left leg, is gonna straighten it out. I'm gonna flex the foot instead of pointing. Flexing, like so. Keeping my right knee right below my right hip. The whole time I'm going to try to keep my hips facing forward instead of opening them up like so. And I'm going to bend forward. Try to hinge as much as you can. I'm rounding the back a bit, but I'm also hinging as much as I can. The hinging part at the hip is what stretches out the hamstring. Rounding the back does not. So keep that in mind as you're playing with this. And big inhales so you get big exhales. And try to visualize bringing your chest towards your ankle so that you're straightening out your spine and less rounding as much as possible. Also keep your shoulders square to the floor. Don't open your right shoulder like so. If you want to twist even further into this, put both hands on the left side of your left leg. You'll get a bit more of a stretch, a bit more twist in the spine, if you're feeling pretty good for that. Oh. Oh, that is so good. All right, now come out of that, back to flexion. Everything's 90 degrees. What I want you to do, if you can, is come forward like so and grab onto that back foot. With either hand, I'm using my right. I'm going to try to go for both. It's also a balancing move. And pull that foot in as close to your butt as you can. I'm making contact with my butt, which makes me pretty happy because this is a quadriceps stretch, and I have tight quads. So I'm really happy right now. Keeping your body, your shoulders facing forward. Oh yeah. And try to bring your body upright. I was leaning forward a little bit. I kind of caught myself there, lost my balance. No big deal, get back into it. There we go. Body is upright. Shoulders facing and hips facing forward. Heel is barely making contact with my butt. Okay, release. Whoops. Release more controlled than I did if you can. Okay. Oh boy, that's good. Now we're going to switch sides. So put your left leg in back, right leg in front. Square your hips forward, shoulders forward, keep everything forward. And then straighten out that front leg again. And come down. On the exhale. On this one, my right hamstring is a little bit more flexible than my left one. So I think I'm going to try this other more advanced option here. Both hands on the right side of my right front leg. A little more of a twisty stretch there. Breathing through it. One more exhale, please. A deep one. Okay, come back up. So everything is 90 degrees flexion again. Same quad stretch on this side now. Keeping the front leg where it's at. Reach back if you can safely. And try to grab a hold of that foot. With my left hand. And now both hands. Now I try to bring my upper body upright, keeping my shoulders and hips facing forward. And try to pull my heel in towards my butt. And there we go, we got contact. If you're making contact, if you're not making contact, drop a comment. Tell me if you made contact or not. I'd love to hear about it, or how close you are to making contact. And how your balance is faring. Oh my goodness. Couple more breaths. Last breath. Yeah. Now come out of it in a controlled fashion. Okay, there we go. That was good. Much more control that time for me. Oh, that's so awesome. All right. Prayer hands. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, reach up as high as you can. Elevate the shoulders. Back down. And the prayer hands. Okay, now we're going to do the other side again. 2 times on everything, man. Or 3. Right, everything is flexed. And this time, before we get into it, bring your hands together like this. Just clasp them together. Shoot straight up and back. Get a little arch in your back. A little back bend. That's a weakness for me, but I try anyway. Tons of other people that can go much further into that than I can. Maybe you can, who knows? All right, so straighten the front leg again. We're going to repeat. And fold down over, bringing your chest to your ankle, probably not reaching your ankle, but that's the visualization to try to keep a straight spine and your shoulders and hips facing forward as you exhale down. And maybe go a little deeper this time if you can. When you exhale, feel free to use your voice like I do sometimes. It's really good for the central nervous system. It massages the central nervous system. Like that. See? One more exhale, make it a good one. Come up. Now just go right into the quad stretch here, if you please. I have to do it slowly, otherwise I fall over. Well, see, even still, I stumble. All right, here it goes. Shoulders, hips are forward. Now I pull my heel into my butt. Upper body is upright, hopefully. Oh yeah, one more big ol' exhale. Get deep into it. Come out of it. Oh, that's awesome. All right, knees together. To the other side. All right, we'll do the same thing that we did before on this side. Clasp hands together, arms up, do a little bit of a back bend on the exhale. So big inhale, exhale. I think I did a little bit better on that side. That's pretty cool. Okay, now right into your half splits on this side. Straighten the leg. Everything facing forward, shoulders, hips. Exhale, come on down. So who's adding some sound in with your exhales? Comment when the workout's over. Make the mental note that you're gonna drop some comments. Oh, once we're done, I'd love to hear who is adding some sound on the exhales and how it makes you feel when you do that. If it relaxes you more into the stretch. One more big one. Okay, from here, go right into quadriceps stretch. In a controlled, as controlled as you can be, fashion. One arm and the other. Whoops, I came out of that. As I try to maintain my balance on this side. And the other. Everything's pointed forward, shoulders, hips. Bringing my body upright. Pulling my heel. There we go. We have contact to the buttocks. A few breaths. more big one after this one. In a very controlled manner, come back. Oh, that is so good. Okay, now, prayer hands, bent knees, drive your pelvis forward as much as you can, squeezing your butt. Big inhale. Point up, do another back bend from here on the exhale. Do not let your hips fall back. Keep them forward, thrusting forward. If it means less back bend, so be it. Only back bend as your hips are staying forward. Bring the hands down. And while we're here, we're going to do one of the early things that we did in this workout. Reach back, try to keep your hips forward, using your glutes to do so. Reach back for one heel, then the other, if you can. Or you can just stay upright, like this, with prayer hands, thrusting everything forward, squeezing the living daylights out of your butt. That's good, all in and of itself. If you feel like you can do more than this, go for it. Okay, come up. Now, we're going to go a little bit further for those of us that can. This is a big struggle for me. So your butt is on your heels. Simply going to come back. Now for this, you want to be careful of allowing your back to... You don't want your back to form that big old C shape back here. You want to keep your abs scooped because it'll protect your lower back. If you do this and you keep going back and you build all that pressure on your lower back, your vertebrae, you can do some damage there. And I made that mistake in the early days, but I don't anymore. And back then, I actually could bring my shoulders all the way to the floor, but it wasn't because I had flexible quadriceps. It's because I was putting all that strain on my low back, and my back would get sore for a period of time. So nowadays, now that I'm doing it right, I don't go back as far, but I'm not hurting myself, and my quads are getting more of a stretch. So keep that in mind if you decide to try this. So I'll go back as far as I can. This is about it. I can barely get down to my elbows, and maybe someday, as I work on my quad flexibility, maybe I'll be able to bring my shoulders all the way down to the floor. That'd be pretty cool. That is so good. Next exhale, come up. With your hands, protecting everything. Oh yeah. And while we're here, we're just going to keep going forward. Couple cat-cows. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. You're going to inhale. Your head up. Butt up, head up. This is cow. Then exhale, pretty much the opposite. Round your back as much as you can. Protract your shoulders. Point your butt down on the exhale. Now do that a few times, your own pace, your own breath. I'll come back to neutral spine like so. All right, next thing we're gonna do a plank, but this is specifically a yoga plank, which actually accentuates how a plank should be anyway, but just an accentuated version of it. So with this one, I want you to start on your knees. I'm gonna start on my knees too. My hands are below my shoulders. I'm on my knees. I am protracting my shoulders like that. If your shoulders are like this, protract them like this. And I want you to round your back actually right now. So everything is up. I don't want you to lift your butt in the air like this and bend your knees like that. Just keep your knees bent enough so that you're on the floor, but don't raise your butt in the air. And definitely don't let that C shape happen, that C curve happen within your lower back. You want to keep everything scooped like that. See what my pelvis is doing? So this would be wrong. That would be correct. So do this. Shoulders protracted. If you're feeling strong, then I would like you to bring your knees up off the floor into plank and raise your back up even higher, like the middle of your back. Raise that as high as you can, not by raising your butt. Keep your abs scooped and raise the middle of your back as high as you can. Shoulders completely protracted. Heels driving towards the floor. Kneecaps drawn up towards the hips to keep everything engaged. Your whole body should be engaged right now. You can see what I'm doing there. And just hold that for a couple more breaths. That's a yoga plank. One more exhale. Now exhale back into child's pose. Because it feels so good. Now in this particular child's pose, I want you to do a bind. So take your right arm, reach around behind you, grab your thigh if you can, or you can just stay in regular child's pose. And open yourself up. Try to stack your shoulders on top of each other. I love this. Anytime I can do a bind and I open things up and I twist my spine, stack my shoulders on top of one another, I do it. It feels so good. Lay your head down like this on your arm if you want to. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. My back will face you. Same thing. Child's pose. Reach around with your left arm, see if you can grab your thigh and open everything up. Try to stack your shoulders on top of each other. Straight up in the air. And then exhale down, reaching for that thigh and doing a bind. And open. And release. Just come into regular child's pose for a breath or two. Go into puppy dog. I think it's called puppy if you'd like. And come up. Oh, that is so good. And this feels so good. I hope you guys are feeling really good too. Okay, so I want you to reach behind you, clasp your hands, come back on your knees, thrust forward, so you're engaging your glutes. And if you can, drive down like that with your clasp. Shoulders back, hips forward, abs scooped, protecting your low back. Now, clasp your hands in front. This time I want you to round your shoulders instead of protracting. I'm sorry. Before you were retracting, my mistake. You were retracting your shoulder blades back. You saw. Now I want you to protract or round your shoulders forward, clasping in front of you, stretching out your back. Now clasp in front. Try to pull your hands apart. Now above, try to pull your hands apart. Next, exhale, scrape imaginary wall behind you. Still thrusting forward. Very, very good. And speaking of thrusters, we're going to go back into a plank right now. And we're going to do some crunches, just a few, with our core. I'll show you what that looks like. It's one of my favorite moves. It is so good. So you're in a plank, knees up or down, shoulders protracted. So you're not like this, but you're up like this. Abs scooped, protecting your lower back, shooting your heels out to the floor, kneecaps drawn up towards your hips. Now watch what I do with my hips. I'm basically crunching while in a plank. So do a few of those. Crunch on the exhale. One more. Now hold it. Just hold it and breathe. Okay, come down to your knees. Ah, that feels so good. Now while we're down here, we're going to do a simple shoulder stretch now. So reach up with your right hand to the back, pull down with your left hand. If you can reach behind and clasp, I can, just on this side though. I've never been able to do it on my other side. So I'll show you what that looks like. Release. We do the other side. Left arm up, pull down with your right hand. This side, shoulder flexibility just isn't as good. It never has been. 14 years I've been doing this. I still cannot clasp behind. I'll show you how far away I am. It's not even close. It's quite a disparity between both of my sides. So there I am. That's about it. It isn't happening, so I'll just pull down on this side with this hand. And keep your head up. Don't go like that. Keep your head up as much as you can. And release. And open up the arms. Reach up. And then come back down into prayer hands. That is so good. Okay, now we are going to go into half frog. Did all that other flexibility stuff with the legs, so we got to do this. So half frog, we're going to start with our right leg down like this, left leg out like so. And if you're feeling good, bring your your right leg out even more so it's not completely beneath you, but open it up as much as you can. I'm going to open it up as much as I can, as you can see. And the goal is maybe someday you bring your pelvis your butt all the way down to the floor and do a split, right? So it's splits training. Come forward a little, wiggle back and forth. If you go back, it's a little bit easier. If you go forward, there's a little bit more flexibility involved. So I play with that. Next exhale, come out, going forward a little bit, being careful. Okay, now we're going to go back into the same thing on the same side. So let's do it. Left leg out. Right leg is, the right knee is bent. Pushing that out, going for millimeters there. A few more breaths, then we go to the other side. See if you can go a little bit deeper now. I'm a little bit deeper, not by much, but a little, I notice. Another exhale. One more. Now come out. Okay. Yes, wiggle it, shake it a little. We're gonna go to the other side. Same thing, it's the other side. Okay, here we go. Oh. One more exhale. Come forward a little and come out safely. A little wiggle here, and then we're going to go right back into the same side. See if you can go a little deeper. Here we go. On the exhale. Add some voice to it. Massage the nervous system, the central nervous system. One more after this one. All right, come up. Now we're going to do full frog. Why not? We did half frog. One time on full frog. Shake everything out. So with this one, I'll go at an angle here, but both legs are going to go out. Both knees are bent at about 90 degrees. It's easier if you go back. You get more flexibility if you come forward a little bit, but not too forward, otherwise it gets easier again. Like that would be pretty easy right there. But right about here, so you can play with that. See how it feels. This is about right for me. After a couple of breaths, see if you can go a little bit wider, even if it's just millimeters. I think this is all I've got. Another breath. One more after this one. Oh, that's so good. All right, now. Ooh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to do shoulder stand into plow. So if you're not able to do plow, you can stay in shoulder stand. But we're going to start in shoulder stand. And if all of this is just too difficult, pick your favorite move, your favorite stretch, and just substitute it out with that, or you can fall back into child's pose. So for this one, we're going to come back, very front of your yoga mat. Actually, before we even do that, let's go into happy baby. So bring your feet up, grab on the outsides of your feet, pull down. You can rock back and forth a little if you want. What a great opportunity for happy baby. Wasn't planning on that, but here it is. Last one. Okay. So come out of it. All right, now you're going to bring your feet up. Try to straighten the legs, flex the feet. Palms on the floor. Come up like this, putting your hands on your low back, supporting yourself. Try to keep the legs straight. Ankles over knees, knees over hips,
over shoulders. Get into a straight line as much as you can. If this is bothering your neck, I would just come out of this altogether. And if you're feeling like you want to do more, bring your feet down, maintaining straight legs. Now we're going into plow. Some days I'm great at this, others I'm not. You can clasp your hands like I am. Today I'm so at it. I'm already coming out. Sometimes I can stay in it for a long period of time, and other days I just can't. It is what it is. Got to do a body check and respect where you're at so you don't get injured. And do the best you can, and some days are going to be different. So I'm going back into it. The days where I can stay here for a while, my God, it feels so good. All right, coming back up. I'm going to go into it one more time. Okay, here we go. Now, while you're still in shoulder stand, form a little diamond with your feet like this. Use a little diamond there. That feels pretty good, I think. Bring your feet back up. Just sort of scissor kick your legs, but without kicking. A slow, controlled motion like this. I think that feels so good. You can try doing splits like this, or as much as you can anyway. And then come back down one vertebrae at a time in a slow, controlled motion like this. Ah, isn't that nice? I just love that. Okay. Come back up. Right now, I want you to sit like this. So your left leg, bend it like so. Now bring your right up over it. Your right ankle is on the outside of your left thigh. And your knee is up on your right leg. Now with this move, I want you to take your right elbow here, or your right tricep, and place it on the outside of your right leg. Now I want you to push against your right leg with your left tricep and get as much twist out of your spine as you can, keeping your spine straight, but try to twist your spine if it feels comfortable. Big inhale. Oh, my right hand is behind like this, supporting me. Exhale. With every exhale, try to go a little deeper. We'll do about 5 or 6 breaths here. Okay. Now switch everything. So now your left leg is on top, your right leg is down. You're gonna bring your right arm, your right tricep, make contact to your left leg and push. Every exhale, open up. Ready? Go. All right, come out of that. Very good. All right, now. All right, now we're gonna keep our feet straight, a straight line. Reach up,
forward fold, just for a couple of breaths, as deep as you can. Envision bringing your chest down towards your feet, so you're hinging more at your hips and rounding less on your back. Now come up, bend your knees. Try to bring your chest to your thighs like so. Hold on. Now I want you to slowly on the exhale extend your knees and maintain contact between your thighs and your chest as much as you can. See if that helps get you deeper into the forward fold. I got a little bit deeper. Okay, back up. We're going to do that same thing again. Now when you grab hold, I want you to grab hold inside like this. Big inhale, do the same thing again. See if you can go deeper. Okay, come back up. We're going to do that one more time. 3 times for this one because it's so good. Okay, just go at your own pace. Go ahead, get started. 3rd and last time. See how deep you can go. Ooh, a little deeper. All right. Got my whole palm on my feet. See if I can get a little bend in the elbows now. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. I really want you to work into this as deep as you can safely. One more. Make it count. Okay, keep the legs straight. Reach skyward, straighten the back. Arms down to your sides. We're going to do a reverse plank real quick. So hands behind you like so. And we're just going to come up like this. Reverse plank, drive the pelvic up. Legs straight. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. So now they're retracted instead of protracted because it's a reverse plank. Couple breaths. Down. Ooh, that was awesome. Now we're going to go up and down with it. Squeeze your butt every time. This is awesome for your glutes. It's awesome for your thighs. It's awesome for everything. So at your own pace. Exhale on the way up. And don't fully collapse. Just barely touch the mat. And then come back up. A couple more. Even a slight pause at the top before I come back down. And really squeeze. One more. And stay up. Squeeze hard. Come down. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so good. Now open your legs. Whew, wonderful. Just reach forward as much as you can. This is another huge weakness of mine. I can hardly move forward. Just go as far as you can. Grab the carpet if you need to, the floor. fight for millimeters. Flex your feet. Grab your feet if you want to. And pull yourself in more. I cannot go deeper unless I pull myself. Okay, come up from that. All right, now we're gonna do a reclining pigeon of sorts. This is so good, I love this one. Now we'll do regular pigeon for those of you that can. So your right leg is gonna come up. Your ankle or just above your ankle is gonna go on your left thigh, just above your knee. You're gonna reach through, grab right here, or reach through and grab all the way if you can. Come back, bring your shoulders to the floor, head to the floor, and just pull. And you should feel a wonderful stretch on your outer right hip. With every exhale, see if you can pull the leg in closer and get a deeper stretch. Two more. All right, now the other side. Left leg over the right. Reach through and just go. Two more exhales. Come up. Lovely, that is so good. Just because I'm feeling it, 1 or 2 reverse planks. Just a fluid motion, you don't have to hold it, just because it felt so right there. Some improv work for you, perfect. All right, so now we're gonna do full pigeon. So right leg in front, left leg back. I'm gonna go a little sideways here so you can see. So the goal is to try to bring the hips, both of them. We got the right leg in front. The challenge is gonna be the left hip driving down. If it's open like this, we're not really getting the stretch in the outer thigh of the right leg. Bring the foot out as much as you safely can if it's not hard on your knee or hips. Okay, pelvis is forward. I'm on the top of my back left foot. I'm feeling a really nice stretch in my left hip flexor as well as my right outer hip. And come down if you can. And if you want more of a stretch, bring your hands more to your right, like I am, in a diagonal. While keeping your hips down, especially that left one. One more breath here. That one I could stay in for quite a while. But a good 5 breaths at least is pretty nice. Okay, so come out of it. We're gonna go to the other side now, naturally, right? So now my left leg's in front, my right leg's in back. Take the hips, point them down. Now I'm on the top of my back right foot. Bring my front foot out a little if I can. And exhale, sink, release into it. for a little extra stretch, reach to the left.
Oh, it feels so good. One more breath, make it good.
Okay, come up. Very nice. Now go back to the other side. However, we're not going to do the pigeon again. We are just going to do a quad stretch from here, if you're able to. You can do another pigeon if you want to. If you want to follow me, get back into a pigeon position, but now I'm going to reach back and try to grab my back foot and pull it in while in a pigeon. If you have excellent balance and you can reach with both hands, go for it. I'm going to attempt it, but man, it's not my strong suit, that's for sure. Let me turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually going to bring my foot in for this one because the goal for this one is a quad stretch. Whoa. Whoa. See, I struggle. But I get right back into it. There we go. And see if you can bring your body up. Like mine is tilted forward. So I'm going to try to bring it upright here. Get more of a quad stretch. I'm really struggling with the balance, that's for sure. Squaring the shoulders and the hips forward. All right. Release. Well, it's not in me today, I guess, to do that one. See if I'm any better on the other side. That's okay, I did my best. That's all you can ask. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is always enough. Remember that. Just do your best. Forget the rest, like Tony Horton says. All right. See if this side is a little better. Well, I think it might. Well, maybe. Spoke too soon. There we go. Bring my body up more. Held it for a second or two. A couple of breaths. Okay. Well, I had it for a second on that side, so it was a little bit better. It is what it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, now we're going to end this here. Something very nice. Ooh. Flip your hair like so, just like I did. Or not. Okay. Now what I would like you to do is lay back on your mat. I want you to reach overhead with your hands as far as you can and out with your feet as far as you can, like you're trying to pull your body apart in opposite directions and just elongate everything. And press your low back to the floor. Pretend like you're in a sandbox and you're trying to leave an imprint of your low back in the sandbox as you're pulling your body apart. Sweep your arms down to the side. Now, I want you to bend your left leg. Collapse it over your right side like this, keeping the right leg straight. Left arm out to the side like so. And I want you to look to the left. Now you may not be able to make contact with the ground, but the idea is going to be to make contact with your bent left knee to the ground and your left shoulder to the ground. With every exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper. You should sink a little deeper with every exhale. So stay here for a few breaths. See where you go with it. This is a great spinal twist. Keep you young. It's a fountain of youth exercise for sure. One more breath. Sink as far as you can on that last exhale.
Now we're just going to do the other side. So your left leg is straight, right knee is bent to the left side, right arm extends to the right. You're looking to the right, and just go at your own pace and relax, sink as far as you can into it. Release yourself into this as much as you can. Every time I inhale, my right shoulder rises a little bit, and then when I exhale, it sinks back down again. You might notice the same. Couple more breaths. One more after this one. Last one, sink as much as you can. All right, come up. Hug your knees in, do little circles. Now the opposite direction, because it feels so good. One more happy baby. Reaching to the outside of your feet and pulling down. Rock a little if it feels good. Okay, now straighten everything out, and we're going to finish this up right now. Reach like you were just a few minutes ago, pulling everything apart, elongating, tractioning out your entire body as much as you can. On the exhale, sweep your arms down like a snow angel. Arms barely touching, scraping the floor. Inhale back up. Keeping the snow angel pattern. Exhale. One more time like this. Inhale up. Now on this inhale, come straight up like so. On the exhale, straight up. Now exhale, same way your arms came. Inhale. And you can do your own thing here with your arms. Whether you're doing snow angels or coming straight up, just do it with the breath work. Make them full, complete motions, slow moving. Okay, now come up. Legs crossed. Prayer hands, shoulders back. One more big inhale. Shoulders back, chest out, prayer hands. Exhale with sound. And one more. Make it count. Namaste, everybody. Thanks for being here. Orgasmicpathways.com is my website.
choose your pathways. I've got tons of free workouts, tons of healthy recipes, lots of music. orgasmicpathways.com. And share this with people. Subscribe to my YouTube, please. That helps me out a ton. YouTube has a great thing where if people are subscribing to me and commenting on the videos and interacting, they will show my video to more people. And that helps me out a ton. And it also helps me get paid without ever having to charge you anything. So that's pretty sweet. So please do that. Subscribe, comment, interact, orgasmicpathways.com. And I'll see you on the next video or blog post or healthy recipe or whatever it might be. Bye for now. Mwah. Sharing is caring. Share this with friends.